All right, let's talk about finding profit in places most people just don't look. We're going to dive into something you probably see as just a cost of doing business, those fees you pay every time you send money overseas. But what if I told you that inside those fees, there's a massive opportunity waiting to be unlocked?
So let me ask you this. If you're running a business, maybe you've got clients or suppliers in other countries, do you ever get that feeling that you're just losing money somewhere in the transfer? Well, you're not going crazy. It's a real and honestly a very expensive problem for a ton of businesses out there.
You see, every single time money crosses a border, you're not just paying one fee. Oh no, you're getting hit with the transfer fee itself, then there's the markup on the currency exchange rate, and sometimes you've even got these mystery fees from banks in the middle. When you add it all up, it really feels like a hidden tax on the global economy.
And who's bearing the brunt of this so-called tax? It's not the giant corporations. They have teams for this stuff. It's the little guy. We're talking about small importers, digital freelancers, app publishers, really anyone who's hustling and working with clients across borders, especially in places like Africa. And the cost of this hidden tax? It's absolutely staggering. We're talking about losing anywhere from 3% to a jaw-dropping 10% on every single transaction. For a small business, think about that. That kind of leakage, month after month, can literally be the difference between making a profit and going under. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, whenever you see a big, inefficient problem like this, that's where opportunity is hiding. The fact that these fees and exchange rates are all over the place creates this fantastic niche opening for a completely new kind of consultant. Let's see how you can build a business around it.
This is you. You become a remittance fee arbitrage consultant. Now, I know, it sounds super complicated, right? But the idea is actually incredibly simple. You become the expert who uses real-time data to find the absolute smartest, cheapest path for your client's money to travel. You save them a fortune in the process.
Now, here is the most critical piece of the puzzle. You are not a bank. I'm going to say that again. You never, ever touch the client's money. You're a strategist, you're an advisor, you are selling pure, high-value information, and that's it. So how does this actually work? How do you turn this idea into actual revenue? Well, it's a lot more straightforward than you might think. Let's break down the playbook, step by step. Okay, it really boils down to two core moves. First, you get nerdy with a spreadsheet. You build a live database that tracks the all-in total cost for sending money between common places. Think US dollars to Kenyan shillings, for example. And second, and this is the magic right here, you charge based on performance. You only get paid when you actually save your client money. Let's make this real. Let's run some numbers. Imagine your client is a small importer, and they have to send $50,000 every single month to their supplier overseas. Right now, they probably just use their bank and kind of sigh at the fees. So you take a look, you run your analysis using your database, and you find a mix of modern fintech platforms that can save them just 2%. Now, 2% might not sound like a lot, but on a $50,000 transfer, that's $1,000. $1,000 in savings every single month. And here's the beautiful part. It's a total win-win. You take a 25% cut of that savings, so you make $250 for your brilliant advice, and your client still walks away with an extra $750 in their pocket that they would have just lost to the system. I mean, what business owner is going to say no to that? So, you might be wondering, what separates a decent consultant from a truly great one in this space? It's not just about comparing the big banks. It's about living on the cutting edge of financial technology. Just think about who your client is. They're a busy business owner. They do not have time to research every new payment app that comes out. You do. Your knowledge of what's new and what's best is the product. These emerging technologies are your secret weapons. So, what should you be obsessed with? Well, you need to know the newest mobile wallets. You got to track all the latest fintech remittance apps. And yeah, you definitely need to understand things like stablecoin platforms that are promising almost zero-cost transfers. Mastering these tools is how you create insane value. Okay, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. What is this all really about? At its heart, it's about understanding and truly mastering the flow of money.
What we've just laid out is a business model that is super niche but incredibly high value. Look, it's not easy. It takes a lot of diligence, you have to love the data, but it solves a massive, painful, and almost completely overlooked problem for thousands of small businesses all around the world.
And really, this whole idea points to a deeper truth about business. True wealth isn't always built by inventing the next big thing. So often, it's built by mastering the systems and the flows that already exist and just making them more efficient.
So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. This principle, it doesn't just apply to international money transfers. Take a look at your own industry, maybe even your own business. What are the inefficiencies? What are the hidden taxes that everyone just accepts? What hidden cost is just sitting there, waiting for someone smart like you to come along and flip it into an opportunity?